Stefan Israel, Table Media.
Yes, Stefan Israel, Europe Table. Secretary General, you mentioned a few countries who announced pledges today, but if I'm not mistaken, bigger ones are not among them, like France, Italy, Spain. Sorry? UK. Yeah, okay. It's big. But still, burden sharing seems to be quite unbalanced. So what can you do more to convince these countries? And then if I may, another question, because you so often praised President Trump for having broken the deadlock with Moscow, but isn't it a moment for Europeans to say that these negotiations are a little bit also a cover-up for Russia to intensify its attacks on Ukraine? Thank you.
On your first question, as I said, a couple of countries, and I mentioned the United Kingdom, a big ally, a big economy, but also Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Lithuania made announcements today. But we also know that other nations are actively at this moment discussing this in their cabinets, in their parliaments, so I expect further announcements soon, and there might also be some bigger economies there. And of course, we will keep on working on the burden sharing. That's absolutely crucial. We cannot have too few countries doing the bulk, and everybody acknowledges that, and I'm cautiously optimistic that we will get a better burden sharing than we are seeing currently. When it comes to the peace process, as I said repeatedly, I'm absolutely convinced that if President Trump would not have broken the deadlock with Putin, this whole process would not have started. It's not easy to bring a war like this to an end. It takes time. It takes more time than you want. But I know that the US team, Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, they are all day in, day out working on this under the leadership of President Trump. They are constantly updating their Canadian and European allies. That is, I think, very important. So this is really a coordinated effort with Ukraine to bring this war to a lasting end in a way that Putin will never ever attack again. We all have this clear goal in mind. It should not be a repeat of Budapest or a repeat of the Minsk agreement. It should be such that Putin knows if I attack again after a long-term ceasefire / a real peace deal, if I attack again, the reaction will be devastating.
Interfax, Valeria Poroshenko.
Thank you for this opportunity. Valeria Poroshenko, Interfax, Ukraine News Agency. My first question to the Secretary General. Can you please describe the role of the USA in the Ramstein, because the leading role is now in other countries' hands? And other question to our Minister, Mykhailo Fedorov. Can you please describe projects that you announced to partners in Ramstein, that you said that 18 projects you're gonna present? And the third question to Boris Pistorius, thanks for your support. You sent letters to partners for increasing support for air defense. Did you get any feedback actually on this immediate air plan? Thanks.
The Ramstein is now being led by the two defense ministers of Germany and the United Kingdom since, I think, February last year, and very successfully. And it's not just the two leading this, there is also a whole back office of the Germans and the Brits together with NATO and Ukraine to make sure that Ukraine gets what it needs. There is the comprehensive Ukraine requirement list agreed by SACEUR, the Supreme Allied Commander, listing all the needs Ukraine has. And then to the role of the United States, they provide from that curl, so that comprehensive Ukraine requirement list, they provide what only basically they can provide, which is this PEARL, the prioritized Ukraine requirement list. And this is essential support for Ukraine coming from US stockpiles, paid for by allies in Europe, our partners like Australia, New Zealand, and of course Canada, an ally within NATO. So this is how it works, and I must say that it's successful. I mean, we are able to supply Ukraine with what it needs to stay in the fight as strong as possible.
They were part of preparing for today's UDCG, a UDCG which has pledged a total of $35 billion in extra military aid for Ukraine. A successful UDCG, but more to do to meet the requirements that Ukraine have to stay strong in the fight.
If I understand your question correctly, you asked for those Patriot Pack 3 and Pack 2 and my initiative. Yeah. Well, we did get some announcements which has been approved and confirmed in the session, and some other announcement which needs to be approved at home, which is quite normal. So I'm very optimistic for a relevant number of Pack 3 and Pack 2.
Ми сьогодні дійсно презентували конкретні проекти, які пов'язані з нашою візією цього року, починаючи від